Right, what are you saying, people? It's another episode of The Social Worker.
Yes.
And The Mentor. Rob, what are you saying, man?
I'm there, you know. I'm hungry, you know. To be honest with you, boy, I'm starving, man.
Yeah.
I'm some curry goat, rice and peas.
Listen,
some macaroni cheese, some plants.
No, like because obviously, like today, like normally see when it's Sundays, I always have my jollof rice, my chicken, salad, my super malt.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but so, Rob, the end of the year is coming fast, bro.
Yeah. I know, man.
It's coming very, very fast.
It's mad, innit, man?
Bro, wait, did you hear that?
Boy, did they hear that?
Bro, did you guys hear that?
Listen, don't forget, you know. Listen. Subscribe and like
and share. You know, you can see it right at the bottom of your screen.
I beg you, please, come back.
We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on Spotify.
And soon, iTunes.
Yeah.
Actually, in fact, you know, in 2 weeks' time, iTunes.
We're going to be on iTunes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And the Patreon soon come as well.
Yeah, the Patreon soon come. Yeah. And we're on Twitter. And you know what, Rob, I'll be honest with you. We have to start tweeting a bit more, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know?
To be honest with you, bro, I don't really do the Twitter thing. I'll leave that for you. I'll leave that for you. Yeah, it's a bit.
No, bro, do you know what it is?
You know, Twitter is quite toxic, you know?
Yeah, bro, that's why I don't tweet.
It's very...
Bruv, the only time I tweeted, was our first episode. Bruv. But since then, man has not tweeted, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, if people tweet us, then but we're not into any back and forth. But we want to just keep it nice and clean.
That's it.
You know? But yeah, man, Rob. But juicy subject today, you know? Yeah.
I think it's needed.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think it's not always about job role. It's people skills, isn't it? Like you as an individual yourself. So I know that me and you, we're you know, we got people skills. You know, like not everyone is a people's person.
Yeah.
Some people that you don't take to. Like I'm quite big on energy. You know, like a person's energy.
No, energy's big.
You know, first impressions. Yeah, as I say it. But working with young people, you do need to you know, sort of like be a particular sort of way. So yes, I suppose the topic of conversation of today is what is it now?
Is that working with teenage? How is it to work with teenagers when it feels like a battle? Because I'll be honest with you, there's lots of social workers out there, and they're like, you know what? Can't work with young people. Like I can't work with teenagers because they feel like they're battling when they're working with young people. But bruv, you know what? I love working with teenagers and young people.
Oh yeah.
I love working with teenagers and young people. Honestly, like do you know what it is? Yeah, I've never seen working with teenagers as a battle, because one of the things I've realised, you know, being a social worker, having so many cases with young people, is that, bruv, young people will push professionals. Of course they do. I don't mean physically push, but they'll push you.
Yeah, they'll push boundaries.
Cuss you off.
Yeah.
But that's only because I feel that young people do that because they want to see how far their social worker is willing to go in supporting them. Yeah. Because I think with young people, sometimes they're kind of used to professionals might being like, you know what, okay, now I'm done. And all these sorts of things. But for me, all the young people that I've worked with in the past, regardless of whether they've cussed me off and all those sorts of things, I've never actually gone and given up on them. And young people respond to professionals who actually are patient.
That's it.
Who are patient with them. And also it's about us as professionals, you know, reminding ourselves that, you know what, we are working with young people, so bro, it's about time. Like it's about time. Do you know what I mean? You know, but being relatable when you're working with young people, understanding them, but also listening to the young person as well.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. For me, all right. And this is, I'm never going to be big headed. Like it's my forte.
Yeah.
Like, and I think sometimes
I'll call you a specialist.
It's like if you're a footballer, you know, like football's your thing, or if you're a musician, or a piano player, or you're a violinist, or a cameraman, or an editor. Sometimes when you're specialised in a certain area, that's your forte. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't really have these problems. You know,
no, I don't either.
Like yourself, like I love it. Like I like having the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Right. Some people will be like, oh my gosh. he's in a gang. Oh my God, County Line. He runs away.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God, he's been excluded from school 30 times.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He swears. He's this. He's this. She's this. He's this.
Okay, yeah. Like for me, like, okay, cool. Oh, that's lovely. I love it. But not everyone is like me or like yourself, or there are particular individuals that are they're just like that.
Yeah.
Because it's part of their personality. But we're in a time frame right now, especially like with a lot of young people, and this is not all young people, but this is the particular young people that I suppose I work with and you work with.
Yeah.
So the particular young people that I work with, they're from broken homes. Yeah. A lot of them don't have any father figures.
All good role models. That's right.
Sometimes mum's not there. Right, yeah. A lot of them don't have no manners. So they're feisty.
Yeah.
Cheeky. Rude.
Yeah.
They're telling you, go F your mum.
Yeah. You're my social worker.
Yeah,
dead.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're rude.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
So you're dealing with rude, arrogant, ignorant teenagers, okay? All right, yeah? All right? Now, as I said before, like we like to think like we all grew up in a family environment and we know manners.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't know manners, you know. Yeah. They don't understand manners, right? Yeah. But as a professional, you do have to be a particular sort of way in. Okay, all right.
It's how bruv you practice. Like, do you know what? I'm not gonna sound kind of silly, but like, you know, when you're working with young people, like you have to have a bit of kind of like. This is what I'm gonna do. Hashtag, yeah. It's like, you see, when I work with young people, I call it street social work. That's my terminology now. Yeah. Street social work.
It's good. That's a good way.
Because it's like because when you're working with young people, like when a lot of young people, when they spoke about their social workers, like they don't feel that their social worker understands them. Some of them don't feel that their social workers understand their language, what they're going through, like what's happening, say in the streets. For me, it might be to do with like my age, maybe being a young social worker, being a young manager. That if a young person's like coming up to me, oh Nana, you know today's been long for me. Like, bro, come on, let's just chat. Talk. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But I think there's some social workers, when they see young people, they see them as like delinquents. They can't actually relate to them. They see them as like their own children. Well, you know what I say goes, and bruv, it's not like that. Like, as you always have said in it, you got to keep up to date with the times. You know, but with young people, I'm going to keep on saying it, we can't give up at all on young people. And I know for a lot of professionals, it might be hard to hear in the sense that you have a young person who cusses you off, who might send rude text messages, fuck your mum, sorry, excuse my language, F your mum, this and this and this, but you can't give up because a lot of the times, a lot of young people go and say, you know what, in the end, my social worker, despite what I put them through, they were consistent with me.
But you know though, bruv, like, this is another thing for me. I personally, it's not always about your job role. It's about you as an individual. So it doesn't matter whether you're a teacher, a social worker, a mentor. Like, forget the job title. This is about you as an individual, as a person, right? Yeah. So if you are a qualified social worker of 10 years, 20 years, or you're a teacher of 10 years, 20 years, whatever, whatnot, right? Yeah. Like, you see nowadays, right? Yeah. As I keep saying, right? Yeah. Right. It's not about the piece of paper. Like, people think, oh yeah, I've got this qualification. Hang on, does your qualification, are you managing your classroom with your piece of paper? Yeah? Is your piece of paper telling you how to like deal with Timmy? Right?
Yeah.
Because hear what now? It doesn't matter what degree that you got, right? Yeah? Forget the degree, right? This is about you as an individual, right? Yeah? Right? And I think sometimes with professionals, even myself, I've to a degree over the years, right? Yeah, I think sometimes when you work with young people, you forget you're dealing with a child. Yeah. And I think sometimes what happens sometimes is this complacency with the individual. Not always, right? Yeah. And I think sometimes we forget that we are working with children, because the thing is, when you do work with children, you get like used to working with, this child. Yeah. But sometimes when you're having like this conversation, you're actually talking to a child, right? Yeah. And sometimes the child could actually get a little bit complacent as well, because obviously they're thinking, oh yeah, he's cool, man, or she's cool, whatever, whatnot. And I just think dealing with young people nowadays, and I think I got complacent a little bit probably a couple of years ago, because obviously when you work with young people, it's the same thing day in, day out, right? Yeah. And you do get complacent. when you any job role that you're in, you're gonna get complacent.
Yeah.
And if you might go into like a people refer you in that, yeah. You might work with a difficult family. When you work with that family, you know what's gonna happen. Oh, mum's gonna ring me about the child. He hasn't come home, or there's some form of trouble at school.
So you think it's like it becomes like routine.
It becomes routine.
Yeah, yeah.
And the routine causes professionals, right? Yeah, doesn't matter what profession, to become complacent. Obviously not on purpose, right? Yeah, and then in turn it gets draining, because I've experienced that, where my complacency has caused me to become drained with the actual young person or the family that I'm working with, and then it's like, oh man, like, what do I need to do? So then it causes like, myself, and this is obviously generically now, right? Yeah. Sometimes we have to think about, okay, what is the best equipment or the best way to like deal with this young person? And I do believe as well, and this is me not discriminating, I also think age has got a lot to do with it as well. I'm going to be honest with you.
I agree with you. And that's because I think working with young people, because I know when I've heard certain cases, and a young person's worked with a particular social worker, that young person hasn't been able to relate to that particular social worker. Do you know what I mean? But when the case has been reallocated to me,
yeah,
that young person's like, oh, what are you saying, Nana? You cool? And then their guard starts to drop, because they're like, you know what? Actually, I can relate to this young person. And I'm not trying to say if you're an older social worker that you can't. But what I'm saying is, I think that when you're working with young people, you have to be relatable. You have to be kind of like relatable to them. Yeah. And some of the conversations I've had with young people over the times, like, you know, that they haven't mentioned that, the social worker's too old or anything, but they've mentioned that I can't relate to the social worker, or the social worker is not getting me. Yeah. But now, as soon as you've come in and the case has been reallocated, boom, I can tell you. It's like, you made a good point earlier when you mentioned about how sometimes we see a lot of cases, and we look at the referral. Oh, these young person's involved in gangs. Oh, they're involved in county lines. Oh, they're involved in this, and then you're like, oh, it's just another one of them ones. Why? Whereas me, it's like, okay, you know what? I can work with this young person, because it's a challenge, yes, but I never go and say, oh, you know what? I can't get anywhere. Yeah, I will try and go as far as I need to go. When you've had young people, Rob, whereby they've gone missing, they may not have spoken to the cases that we've worked with. Like many of the ones that were reallocated to me before I came on board. Yeah, they were going missing, but they were calling you. They weren't calling the social worker. Then I've come on board. They're like, now you know what? Nana's calm. Yeah, you know what? I can chat to him. I can chat to my social worker. I can chat to Rob. Them man are calm. Yeah. The previous social worker, I couldn't. He was wet. He was long. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But as you said, I think for me the key skills, you got to be patient. It's going to take a lot of time. Yeah. You have to look at where the young person's coming from. Yes, there's some of these young people, they talk to you like stink. Yeah. Yeah, they cuss you off. Like, I had a young person in the conference saying, Nana, you're such a waste man. You are the biggest waste man. Because I was reading what the concerns are. He said, nah, you're a waste man.
Do you know?
And you remember, innit? Yeah, because he was there. Yeah. But then obviously, I could have been like, raw. Yeah. I ain't gonna work with you. Yeah. But till this day, even now, he always says, nah, you know what? Yeah, Nana, you know what? Yeah. You're actually blessed,
There's an example I want to use, but
No, use it.
No, because the language, like.
You need to use it. You need to use it.
Because sometimes, like, all right, I'm gonna say this right, yeah, and remember, this is a situation I had with a young person years ago. So, all right, so all right, so this young person, he would have to stay behind after school 2 days a week for an hour, because his mum, she finished work late, and she didn't trust him to go home by himself, because he likes to detour. Yeah. Right, yeah. So instead of going straight home, he takes a detour to McDonald's or Morley's chicken shop, right? Right. When his mum's ringing in now, where are you? Oh, I'm on my way home. No, where are you? Right, yeah. Anyway, now, so he wasn't listening to his mum. So obviously his mum would ring me for advice. So I told the mum, take the PS4 off him. What do you mean? Because she goes, oh, I don't know what to do. He's not listening to me. I go, yeah, take the PS4 off him. So anyway, now, he came to school the next day, right, yeah? He said, Robert, who the fuck do you think you are? What are you? Oh, what are you, my dad? Right? So no, go on.
Right.
So I said to him, listen, you would love if I was your dad, right? Yeah, like yeah.
You know what you said?
Right, yeah. I go, listen, you would love.
You see this man's raggo, right? You know. He's raggo, you know.
I go, listen, hear what now? You would love if I was your dad, yeah. So just easy, right? Yeah. The reason why I told your mum, right, is because you think you're a man, but you're not. You're a boy, yeah. So just ease up, right, yeah, and start to listen. Do you want to fight me? Because that's okay. So this time now, there's this is actually a true story, by the way, right? Yeah. So yeah, do you want to fight me? I said, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. But remember, I don't take anything personal, right?
Yeah.
So when they swear at you or...
Don't take it personally.
I don't take it personal because always I understand them, right? Yeah. Anyway, a couple of days later on, he apologized to me, right? Yeah. Right? And then I said to him, yeah, but listen, I know you want me to be your dad still, innit, right? Yeah. Right? So, and he just like laughed and everything, right? Yeah. But what it is, it's because obviously in the house, mum's not able to like implement structure, right, yeah, and boundaries, right, yeah, and obviously with this young person and with a lot of them, there's no boundaries. I mean, brother, this is another thing as well. Understanding young people, right, yeah. I know when I was living at home with my mum, right, man had to wash the dishes, man had to like clean the windows,
do chores,
right, chores in the house, right, yeah. Now, brother, let's just keep it real. How many teenagers nowadays? Right, because listen, brother, I do a lot of home visits. No, brother, I do a lot of home visits, right, yeah. Right, and I asked the parents, right, like, so, like, do they hoover the room? She doesn't know what that is, or he doesn't know what that is. What do you mean?
But this is what I'm trying to say. Because I know with me, like, I know when I was growing up, I know it was like you're doing your like Saturday morning,
yeah,
and like having breakfast,
yeah,
from like 10 to like 12, to doing your chores,
right? Like
10 to 12 doing your chores. You're vacuuming your room,
right?
You're cleaning the bathroom mirrors, your own mirrors, yeah. You're wiping the surfaces,
right?
You're taking it like that was standard before I even left my house.
Yep.
I'm trying to say to you, but I think you're right,
brother. I done a home visit not too long ago, yeah. All right, but this has happened quite a few times. So actually, was in a care home, and they told the young person to wash the dishes. Oh my gosh, bruv.
Went left, innit?
Kick up the whole house.
It went left.
Right? All you had to do was wash a plate and a sauce, a plate and a cup.
I know.
So I said to the young person, "What's going on?" "Oh, they told me to wash the dishes." So I said to him, "That's standard. So what? What's the problem?" He goes, "Oh, no, it's not for me to do." So who's going to do it then? "Oh, they must do it for me." But another thing about the generation, we as a society, and maybe sometimes we also as professional, you know, not always on purpose, we pamper them, bro. Do you know what I mean, right? Yeah. And it's almost like what I'm finding, there's a
lot of professionals, what you just said, a lot of professionals have said that.
No, this is
a lot of professionals have said they feel that working with young people, that they feel that actually they're pampered too much.
Yeah.
That sometimes we don't use enough old school way of working. But then at the same time, I think it's difficult because it's like how we were young, it's not the same to how they were young. You know what I'm saying? The expectation. So no, I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I need to give you an example because you know who I'm talking about, innit? So there's a case here that me and Rob working on, innit? And I remember the young person was involved in county lines and yeah. And I remember like I went to the conference, innit? And then I had to, you know, as a social worker, my report. And obviously he come in the conference stinking of weed. He just stunk of it. The CP chair, yeah, and I'll tell you after, but Rago, she said, "You come into my conference looking at weed?" Nah, like she bad him up in it.
Yeah.
So anyway, now we're at the conference, and he went on a child like the chair came to him and said, to me, what do you think, like, you know, about child protection plan? He's like, I don't want to be no child protection plan. Nana, you're an informer, Nana. You're informing them. It's you, bruv. It's you. You, blood. You and your report. You're telling these people, Nana. I ain't working with you. So then when the conference finished, I walked out. Then he came up to me. He's like, you're an informer, Nana. You know you're an informer, bruv. You, blood. You're an informer. How are you going to tell these men what I'm doing? And then I said to him, listen, you are out here trapped, like you know what? His mum was there, innit? I said, listen, you're out here trapping, yeah? So I'm concerned about your safety. So if you're out here trapping, I'm going to tell people what you're doing. Because as your social worker, I gotta make sure you are safe.
Right.
If you're trapping, I'm gonna tell professional you're trapping. I said, I'm gonna tell Robert you're trapping.
Now listen.
And then, do you know what? He backed off and he was like, raw. Like, is that how Nana's moving?
Yeah.
I said, that's how I'm moving. You know why? Because I've got a duty to take care of you.
Yeah.
And then, like, since then, even though we had our problems, everything, he, like, because even now, if we still see him, he always says, oh, like, how's Nana? Nana blessed? Yeah. But I think with us, like, sometimes with young people, when they're coming at you, I'm not saying don't respond to them, but you got to tell them what your job role is and why. And it's the way in which you do it. You get me?
Right. So I'm going to use another example, and then I'm going to coincide it with what you just said just now. Yeah. So there was a scenario with a young person where a young person brought a knife into school, and he said how he's going to sorry, in fact, no, he threatened a teacher, 2 teachers, right? Yeah. So to cut the story short, I rang the police. I had to ring the police. I had to tell the head teacher. She had to ring the police, right? Yeah, right. He goes, "Oh, you snitched on me." I said, "Well, of course I did." Standard, isn't it? Right? Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. I rang the police. What? Right? Yeah. So then he's like, "Oh, you're a snitch." So to coincide with what you said just now, what it is with this generation that we're in now, this particular generation we're in now, they don't do good with boundaries. And you're so right what you said just now about, I suppose as a professional, it's about making them know that, listen, this is my job.
That's
this
right.
Is what I've got to do. Because see me, my young people, they call me Mr. Safeguarding. I don't care. Right, listen.
No, but that's good though.
But it's good though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it means that, listen, right here, listen, if you're in Derby, right, I'm
letting people know where you're at.
Right, and you're supposed to be in school, right, right, at 10:35, but you're in Derby in some county line. What? Listen, I'm checking your Snap, right? I'm checking all your people then, right, and I'm going to find out where you are.
But bruv, you know what you're saying, that's good, because I think a lot of young people feel that as professionals that we're snitch, we're pagans.
Yeah.
But for me, I said to him, listen, call me an informer or pagan.
Yeah.
If anything happens to you, I said, listen, you're on. I said, that's on me, you know.
Yeah.
That's on me, because that means I ain't doing my job. If you ain't protected, so I said, you know what?
Yeah.
If you go missing, I'm gonna report you missing to the police straight up.
Yeah.
Whether you call me a pagan or informer or not, but like, I think in the end, like, as long as you explain to them, they won't like it. Yeah. They ain't gonna like, because they're always gonna say, "Oh, you're a snitch." But as a professional, if I got a snitch for you to be safe, I told them I would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
100.
You know, as well, bruv. A lot of you young people, and one of the things I never ever take for granted is, you see mental health, right? Yeah, and I know we sort of like cover this. In fact, no, we haven't even covered it regarding young people and mental health. Well, I think we have, but
we briefly touched on it.
Yeah. But there's cases where you see the word anxiety. There's some cases where some young people have not been to school, or they don't want to go into school because they're anxious, right? Yeah. And sometimes it's like you're like, oh, just come on, fix up, man. Oh yeah, like we'll go. But no, he's saying to you, I can't cope. Like, I can't manage. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm going through.
And that's the reason why we have to be conscious, because although a lot of professionals say young people and teenagers are difficult to work with, I think one of the things that we also have to do is that we have to also take on board what young people are going through.
Exactly.
And they go through a lot.
Yeah.
So if young people are going through a lot of things and they're redirecting it towards us, we can't be taken personally, but then also we've got to go beneath the surface to find out what's going on for that young person.
Exactly.
And you're not always going to get everything from them on the first visit. You may not get it on the 3rd visit. You may get it on the 10th visit or the 12th visit. As professionals, keep pushing. Even if the young person is pushing you away, try and be as consistent as much as possible. Even say, for example, you got a time while you're checking the young person, send a text, you know what, I just want to see how you're doing. Are you all right? Just checking in on you. Even if they're like, F you, this and this and this, don't check up on me, this and this. In the future, they will be like, you know what, my social worker was there for me no matter what. My mentor 100%. Was there for me, my teacher. It's like, you know, in school, one thing I'll say, because I know we got to wrap up soon, one thing, when I've worked with a lot of young people and they've been open to me on some sort of plan, child protection or child in need plan, you see, when it comes to school, they've always got that one teacher that they will always say that can calm them down or they can go to. I remember when me and used to work cases, if, say, for example, they couldn't get a hold of me or that teacher, they'll be like, I want to talk to Robert. I'm in trouble, I want to talk to Robert. Oh, nah, call Nana. Call Miss P, call Mr. A. Because with young people, they've always got that one professional that they know they can speak to, that they know that, you know what, if I'm in trouble, not that professional's going to come and bail me out, but I can talk to them.
Yeah. Do you know another thing as well, which is quite important, and this is something I actually take quite a passion in. I think professionals, doesn't matter what line of work you're in, especially if it's social care education, right? Yeah. Like for me, what's quite important, I am actually an advocate for young people. So I fight for my young people, and I feel as professionals, right? Yeah,
we need to be doing the same.
There does come a form of degree, and I think the word being an advocate, I don't think people actually sit down and process what is an advocate, like, you know,
representing the young person. Yeah,
like I'm from,
you have to fight for young people.
And sometimes, like, it's like, you know, I have a passion. So if one of my young people, let's say, I don't know, they may be in care, or they're in school, or they're not being treated right, or they feel they've been bullied at school, or you know, they feel hard done by. Listen, that professional is going to hear my voice, because I'm a voice for that young person. Because if the parent and the young person is not getting through to, it could be a social worker, it could be a teacher,
you're gonna fight.
I'm gonna fight for the young person, and I think that's another thing as well. It's like, you know, they want you to fight for them. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes,
and they want to know, bruv, that you're there.
Exactly. Consistency,
yeah.
Very important.
I'll be honest with you, yeah, because of time, yeah. It's like that young person that I had, who was involved in County Lines, yeah, that I worked with, and bro, you know what? Like people will say to me, Nana, you're mad for what you're doing, but bruv, I went to go and pick him up and see that young person early hours of the morning, 3 o'clock. I think I've said it before, but 3 o'clock in the morning, like. Because for me, I'm that passionate about working with young people that I felt, you know what, yes, it's well into my hours, it's early hours of the morning, but he said to me, do you know what my young person actually said to me? He said to me, Nana, you know what? You came to see me. Like, I know I was out at the end, but you came to see me 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
Right. Yeah. And he said to me, Nana, you know what, like, my last social, and he said my last social worker.
Because it's not normal.
He was in care, yeah.
It's not normal.
And I think he is still in care anyway, but I'm saying that he said that his last, he said his last social worker wasn't consistent. So he said, like, the fact that I came to see him at that point in time, he said, nah, bruv. He's like, nah, because now I actually respect that. Like, you came through. I said, bro, listen, at the end of the day, you're my young person, I get what you're saying, but your other social worker, but I said, I'm your social worker now. Yeah. And like, I need to come and see you. So yes, I should be sleeping, but I want you to know your social worker's here.
And I think that's what it is. It's, you know, you see young people, they just want to know that you're going to fight for them. And with young people, that's one thing. This is one thing about young people, and it should also be with adults as well. Like, see, forget talking, because we can all talk. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. With young people, they watch you by your actions, yeah? And if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, trust me.
You hear it, yeah.
They're going to hold that against you.
But, bro, to counter that, bro.
But hang on. But yes, there are times where things don't always go to plan or into place. But, you know, I feel to a degree, education right now and social care are failing a lot of young people. It's not always on purpose. It is due to lack of resources, but also it also comes down to the actual practicing as a teacher, practicing as a social worker, and it's a concern.
Yeah, no, Rob, I have to echo that. I think education and social care, there's a lot of young people that we are failing. And, you know, as a social worker, sometimes you got to be open and honest and say, you know, there's room for improvement. Yeah. I think sometimes as social workers, we can over promise and under deliver. Yeah. I think it's important as social workers and as education professionals that we're clear with what we can do. If a young person says, oh, can you, I want to get this and this and this. You say, you know what? I'm going to look into it for you and find out. If you can't do it, say, you know what? I looked into it. I can't. And I think sometimes over promising for young people and then when you know you can't do it is wrong. Yeah. Let young people know that, you know what, I'm going to look into this. It's like, oh, I know I'm going on, so, but it's like, for example, like young people in care, basic things like, for example, their weekly money, things like that, like the allowances, that they should be getting on a regular basis, but it hasn't been paid to me, or do you know what I'm saying, bro? But we'll go into that in another episode. But do you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's things like that where young people are like, well, hold on, but where's my money, where's my peas? Like, it's things like that, you get me?
Like, it's like, see, it's like every child must have structure, stability.
Every child matters, bro.
Right, yeah, right. Very, very important. So if you're not, as I said before, and it doesn't matter, because what it is, like, you know, I don't always. All right, see, when I think generically as what professionals. So, but I don't care if you're in social care, education,
health. Right? You're defending everybody.
This is just as a professional, but also as a professional and as you as an individual, right? Yeah, and it's about you doing better, and it's about you understanding. So, I suppose just to end it and everything. Yeah, it's like understanding young people is really, really important. And it's brother, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, you know, we could say, oh yeah, it was like that in our time. No, it's hard now.
It's changed.
Because before we end, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Imagine 16-year-old Nana or 16-year-old Robert right now. Right now.
Yeah.
In 2022, imagine Nana, who would have been 14 during the lockdown, right? Yeah. So imagine you. Not when you went to school. Now, yeah. Imagine you now, and imagine what we go through and the sort of young people that we work with.
Yeah.
In our job. Imagine now.
Different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
The
peer pressure is immense.
Peer pressure. Imagine young people they've had peer pressure. They have a lockdown. They've gone through so much.
No joke.
So what you just said
is
the big word is context.
Yeah.
To the young people that we're working
100%.
with. That's it.
Yep. You know. That was a great way to end it. That was people, them, you know what you got to do. Yeah, like, subscribe,
know where to go.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes soon come.
Patreon soon come as well.
Yeah, Patreon as well.
Yeah.
And look after them young people. Yeah,
100%. Look after the young people.
Look after them.
All right.
Nice.
Peace. Take care, guys.